Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of Retouch This. I'm your host, John Cocozza, and I'm joined with my co-host today, Brian Linsley, and DJ Mikey Beats. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Do you like that little Bob Ross thing?
I love it. Is the yellow bikini girl? Is that one of your models?
Yeah, that was one of my models. That was Brina Rose. Yeah.
If Mikey's not frozen on purpose, okay. I mean, that was impressive, dude. I thought you might have been frozen.
Hi. Hey, guys.
Oh, dude, go smell the roses, bro. Smell the roses on that one.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's like she came down from Sacramento all the way to San Diego to come and shoot. She had never been published before, and we published her. And I was like, "Oh my god! Of course we could get you published." Are you kidding me? With a girl who looks like that.
Was that a bunny bikini?
Hey guys, what's that, Mike?
Was that a bunny bikini?
That was a bunny bikini. I think that was like an extra large bunny bikini.
Handled it.
Well, hey guys, so this is Retouch This. We do this live stream every single Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. And today we have a great show for you. We are going to review Godzilla versus Kong today. We all checked it out. And then we're going to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode number 3 that dropped last week. Then we'll move into our Women Crush Wednesdays for the week, which is our little segment where we do a little roundtable and talk about just some hot babes, actresses, adult stars, cam girls, dancers that we think are just killing it for the week. And we got a special guest today, guys. We have Chelsea Hunter, who is a career model, real professional model, not just a pretty girl who takes pictures. This girl's been doing it for most of her whole life. So we're going to really get into a really good discussion with her about the whole modeling industry and, what's going on online with that. But stoked. Let me go ahead and, by the way, before we get started, everybody, according to my analytics, everybody, the majority of people who watch my videos on YouTube are not subscribed. So please, before we get started, if you like the show, you like what I do, click the subscribe button. It really helps out. Give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with some friends. If you guys want to support monetarily, the best thing you can do is go to bikinigirlmagazine.com. Which is my project. It's my media company. I'll show you guys on the screen right here. We're going to add to stream. It's only $6.99 a month, and you get to see the downloadable digital magazine, which goes straight to your phone. And then members through Patreon, they are able to see the awesome, sexy, hot videos that we can't play on social media because social media hates me. But guys, go check that out. And our alternate site is Bikini Girl Magazine on YouTube. But today we are talking about Godzilla, King Kong. What's up, Ralph? How you doing? Good evening, buddy.
Hey, what about Super Chat? If you guys feel like Super Chat them. Super Chat.
Guys, Super Chat's open. You want to get a question? We got when Chelsea is on with us later on. If you want to send a Super Chat, ask her some questions, jump in here with us. That's why we do this. Awesome, my man Brian pointed that out. I'm going to be editing today, guys, some photos from Vanessa James. This was a shoot I did in a studio for a private armament collector. And funny story is he's like, we need to find a girl who's good with guns. And then I was like, okay, I think I know a girl. She's from the desert. She shoots, everything like this. So we literally, these collectors showed up and they started bringing in duffel bags of weaponry. And we just ran out of space. We filled up the walls, everything like that. So when this girl shows up, we brought her in the room and she goes, oh my God, those are real guns. I was like, yeah, what'd you think? She's like, I thought you just meant like a handgun or something. So we ended up setting this up. This is actually this is a World War II German side 50 caliber 3-man bipod like machine gun. I
think that's pretty clear from the picture, John.
Yeah. So we ended up doing this awesome shoot with Vanessa, and we had all these really cool just weapons, and we were definitely in a state that allows you to do this kind of stuff. So, it was
go back to the one where she's like straddling. Can we go back to the one she's like straddling one of the guns, the big one? Wasn't she, or no? Am I missing?
I think you're fantasizing, but I like it.
Okay. Maybe I was. I thought she was like straddling one. I was like, that's great.
It was a fun shoot. Do something like this. So today we're just going to kind of get into these. These are older shots. I didn't even shoot this in RAW format. I shot these in JPEG. And as you can see, like some of the backgrounds are like soft gray. Some of them are a little darker. So we're just going to kind of play around with them. I think definitely going to go through and do some skin softeners on these images and play around with them. So that's what we're going to be doing. But topic today, first off, is Godzilla versus Kong.
God Kong.
God Kong. So
well, I think there's the obvious. I'll start with a question. So Kong is basically, he's kind of like, would we say he's a silverback? Like a massive silverback gorilla?
Sure.
So do they have like rockets like a dog has a rocket? Because I mean, that's a big Kong dong to hide for 2 hours. I mean, I didn't see that thing once, and I was or is Kong a chick? I'll start there because I don't know. I enjoyed the movie, but if anybody's got any answers, and I'm basing it off Watchmen, right? Didn't in Watchmen, did at one point Mr. Manhattan, didn't he just have huge blue cock just swinging around? And they kind of
Walkman, yeah,
Watchmen,
yeah, oh yeah, Watchmen, yeah.
That's
just
a good
kind of like,
point.
whoa, hey, whoa, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm the mature one on the show, but
I can't answer that. That's a good question. Wow, man.
I mean, because we're talking about he took that oak tree and turned it into a spear. So I'm assuming, as big as he is, we would have seen.
At what point in the movie, Brian, were you just sitting there, you're just watching, you're like, all right, cool, and then suddenly you're like, hey, wait a minute, where's Kong Slong?
It was like we're gonna have to say the first 10 minutes of seeing Kong, and then as soon as the chick from Stranger Things showed up, which then made me feel a little off. Because I was like, oh, she's pretty young. And I'm thinking about Kong dick. So early. Let me just say that early. Because I was just like, oh, let me put it this way, too. So I hadn't necessarily seen. How many Godzillas have there been in the last 5 years? Like 4? 3 or 4? Does that sound right?
Yeah, 4. There was Godzilla. Then there was Godzilla King of the Monsters. There was Kong Skull Island. And I think there might have been one more that we're missing.
Or maybe it was just those, because then the other one would have just been the first Kong pre-Skull Island, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay. You're right. Yeah. I don't know if they're in the same timeline, though. I watched a video on
right.
Yeah, Midnight's Edge, and there, of course, with studios, there's all this mess of who owns what and like licensing, and is it really Godzilla? I think that's why they can't call him King Kong. Is the situation is he can only be called Kong. Mikey, they're finally catching up with you. The cops are coming to get you, aren't
they? that's not me.
That's LAPD.
Oh, that's LAPD.
Yeah, that's Sunset and Gower. It's it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's that.
Right on time.
Pretty standard.
Is it the daily car chase? The daily car chase in LA?
I mean, it could be. I mean, because there's the 101 entrance is right down there. I mean, I'm kind of right smack in the middle of hell. So, but
So, what'd you think of the movie, Brian?
So I'm not like a huge Kong or Zilla guy either way. If I'm being totally honest, I used to think Godzilla was kind of silly. That's probably more because of the graphics, right? The graphics are visual effects have caught up. But it was on. It was a Saturday night. I wasn't doing anything. We're still semi-COVID pandemic, stuck inside stuff, right? So for that, I was okay with it. I enjoyed it to an extent. If I was going to be picky, I'd say they definitely slammed in a lot of storylines. It felt like it could have either been a two-part, like they could have done a movie and then had a sequel, or they could have just I'm still not really sure why. And maybe this is something I missed in Godzilla King of Monsters, but so the Stranger Girl's kid and the dude sidekick seemed wildly unnecessary and very cliche, right? Like, I feel like they almost pulled from Transformers. Like, we need this little band of people who have no fucking business getting involved and who can't help and can't do anything. But I'm not trying to say their performances weren't good or anything like that. I was just like, well, and then combined then with her dad. Her dad really stuck out as useless, unless he was somehow. I remember Bryan Cranston was in, I thought, the Godzilla movie, or maybe King of Monsters. So I don't know. I felt like there was a little too much going on, but we were all really there for Kong versus Zilla, and they fought on a battleship. Zilla in water. Obviously, I think everyone would agree. Like, yeah, Zilla's going to probably take round one, which he did. The Kong axe got me really excited. Like, really excited.
More than the missing Kong schlong?
Possibly not. It might be a push. Let's not get crazy. And then the other thing was, I would have liked a little more. So Godzilla blew a hole in the ground, and it made it to where Kong was on upside down Earth. And then he could just go down. I was kind of like, well, that's pretty fucking convenient. But again, it's Kong versus Zilla. So end all be all, yes, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm assuming it seemed a little bit more PG-13ish. I don't know what it was rated, right? So obviously they probably wanted to have, I'm sure, high school kids or like 12, 13, 14-year-old boys, if it's not R, I'm sure they loved it. So yeah, for the most part, yes, I enjoyed the watch. I thought the battle worked out good. I felt like Kong was taking more of a beating. Which I'm not sure if I buy that when he has the axe. But then I also don't fully understand Godzilla's streaming lightning bolt out of his mouth. I'm not sure what that power is. I mean, that seems like nuclear shit that would just smoke everybody and everything. So, but not to overthink it. Yeah, long and short of it, I'll go with a like. I don't know if I'd give a hard, you got to see that. You got to see it. It's amazing. I don't know if I'd push it on anybody, but for what it was, I enjoyed.
All right. I'm pretty on there with you. Mike, you come back to us. You had to dip out for a minute?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where my my logo went. That's okay.
Yeah. Barry Lyndon. Where'd Barry Lyndon go?
I got some. I know. Where is it? Hey, where am I? I actually really, really, really like this one. I didn't fall asleep. The side stories, like you said, were kind of meh. But they need that for the kids, I guess. That's how this works. But the battle scene's amazing. Kong getting his ass beat was amazing. Seeing sides of Godzilla you haven't seen before. I mean, to me, Godzilla's never been scary, at least for me. I think this one, they really focus on how much of a badass Godzilla really is. So I thought that was cool. They showed the humanity of Godzilla, and they also showed why they fight. They fight to be the king. So when Godzilla, stepped on the chest of King Kong and gave him the old yell, he didn't finish the move. They both agreed that Godzilla was the king at that moment. So he walked off, and he was cool. I thought that was amazing. I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, I mean, all around, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. The sign language part, I actually really did like. They always have to have that little kids action, but when who was it that found out? Her mom found out that
her adopted mom.
Her adopted mom found out King Kong's been able to speak this whole time sign language, but just to her. What a dick! You know what I mean? What a dick move! Such a dick move. I like that part. I'm a softie. I thought that was super cute. And Yeah, I was entertained. These types of movies don't usually get me. This one got me. The battle scene on the ships, I mean, slaying the entire Navy fleet, America's Navy fleet, was insane. And then being on top of the aircraft carrier and just taking some thumps, I really did enjoy that. I had a good time.
It's a good call on the death thing. I forgot about that aspect. That was very cool.
Yeah, it shows the respect.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm in line with most of you guys on the points. At times I was zoning out. It was really tough. It was kind of tough for me to watch through and through. I thought that if you're a 5-year-old kid, you're loving this movie, which I thought back to when I was a little kid. I loved the Godzilla movies as a little kid. It was something like me and my dad used to watch, Godzilla movies on WPIX 11 out of New York City. They would broadcast them on like a Saturday afternoon or something like that. So that was pretty cool. Just pretty much all the people that were kind of involved in it, the whole entire Millie Bobby Brown storyline. Oh God, I just couldn't even watch it. I had to tune out. One, the overacting. Every single time she was introduced, it was like this intro where she's like walking into a room like a badass. And I'm like,
she's 16, right? Like a 16-year-old chick. It's like, what?
Yeah. She's like stealing cars and she's breaking into maximum security. I'm like, it's tough. Like you have to suspend disbelief because it's Godzilla King Kong. But at the same time, it's like, you can still do that and still have good stories. Like, that's my problem with certain things is like, okay, you can still have that, but at the same time, like, I really highly doubt that these 3 kind of dopes are just like breaking into maximum security, facilities, and there's not a single security or alarm or guard or sensor or camera. And, they're going from America under the Pacific over to Hong Kong. And then I agree with Mikey. The whole entire sign language thing, that's when I kind of was like, oh, that's a really good plot line, that the little girl knows sign language and she taught Kong sign language. And now we're starting to realize how smart Kong is, that he was able to speak and talk, and he just kept it. And it was like this whole thing. She's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, because he told me not to tell you. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, this is kind of big like this. And the whole thing of them battling and then putting their differences aside to face the Mechagodzilla, that was awesome. I just think, like, I would have done the movie a lot different. I would have cut a lot of that stuff that they created with Millie Bobby Brown and all that storyline. And I would have made it a more interesting story in the center of the earth, because I thought that was the highlight of the movie, was everything going down into the center of the earth. I don't think you needed these special flying, like they had to do something where they had to invert gravity or go past the speed of light to get. I mean, sci-fi wise, this just didn't make sense. But I thought that once they got into the center of the earth, like the battle with the 2 bat creatures, that was awesome. I thought that could have been just explored a little bit more. Like, where was Kong's family? They kind of set that up. They made him go down there looking for his family, and then they didn't really pay that off at all. You didn't really see anything about his family. You didn't see, what's that?
Serious ball tickling.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I was like, oh yeah, like, what's going on? Like, I wanted to kind of see the history of that. Like, go into this giant chamber, and he's got a throne. And he's a king. Like, what's, I was like, okay, now this is the storyline that I want to see. I don't want to see like 3 dopes running around. And I agree with you. Millie Bobby Brown's father's character, what a waste. Holy crap. Every time they cut to the guy, he's like, oh, daughter, I just got to worry where you are in the world. It's like,
oh, you're not in high school? Oh, you're in Hong Kong chasing Godzilla. Oh, right. Yeah, that was a little much. It was a little much.
Yeah, it was a little too much. And then what really, I was laughing out loud, like how stupid certain things was when he blew the fire perfectly down from Hong Kong to the center where Godzilla's thing was. I was just like, wait a minute, like these people need to like go through some sort of portal to get to the center of the earth, but then Godzilla can just blow a hole straight down and you can climb up and down through it.
Right.
And now that there's this giant hole going from the center of the earth up to the surface earth, aren't all those creatures that are in the center of the earth going to come up through the hole now? Like all those.
I'm wondering if maybe that was left. That's been it. That's one of the only questions I had. But maybe going forward, that could be an interesting angle. But I agree with you.
Plugging the hole.
I definitely think they whiffed a little bit on not giving us more about the creatures of Inner Earth, because you have Kong, right? We're following him. They're following him. He gets to the chamber. The chamber opens up, and then it was a little anticlimactic. There's a little bit of a battle there, but and another as far as since we have a Women Crush Wednesday, I don't know the actress's name, but the daughter of the scientist.
Woo!
Yeah. Wow. Seriously.
Mexican actress.
Has to be, right? I mean, she's kind of got a little Jessica Alba.
Yes. I looked that up. I had to look that up.
Mexican actress. Smoking hot. I forgot her name.
She came on with that rack. Oh, my God.
What a babe.
Yeah. I was surprised she got smoked. I was really surprised her character got smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, she turned into a friggin' psycho bitch at that, like you knew she was going to double cross, and she's the daughter of that maniac.
I figured she survives, dad gets waxed, she survives, and then going forward, revenge, right? Like she's there for revenge.
The other thing I did really like about the movie was the detail, the CGI. I thought the CGI was pretty top notch. I was absolutely amazed. The detail that you could see in the monsters, in their hair, I mean, just everything, the details in their skin, that was pretty phenomenal. I was really stoked that it was on, streaming at home. I didn't happen to watch it on the streaming service. I watched it somewhere else, but since they released it in streaming, the 4K resolution version was available. So that was pretty cool. I thought, like I said, that the actual art design of the thing was incredible. The battle on the ship, the art design of that looked phenomenal. The battle in Hong Kong with the neon lights and everything lit up, and then the monster, especially Kong being able to jump from building to building, phenomenal. And then, of course, the center of the earth, holy cow. Like, I want to go there. That place looked amazing. So
I want to throw out there my new Woman Crush Wednesday is Isa Gonzalez.
Is that's
her name?
You can double up. You can double up, probably, right?
You can double up, or just save her for next week, man.
Yeah, she's amazing. Sorry to interrupt there, guys, but you had me distracted.
Worries.
You said
so it sounds like we're all kind of in agreement. Like it's Kong's definitely Godzilla versus Kong. If you're out there, it's worth a watch. COVID nights.
Hey, one thing too, though. What about like why do they keep firing rockets off jets at Godzilla? Like, have they not established that they don't do anything? And they just they launch hundreds.
This time it's going to work. This time it's going to work.
Right. The 94 we just launched didn't quite get them, but this next batch of 6, nope, that didn't work either. Let's try 10. Nope. It was just like, stop firing the fucking Tomahawk missile, dude. It's doing nothing.
$8 million a missile. What the hell are you doing? It's taxpayer money.
Same thing. Like this happened before. Come on, guys.
Right.
This little shots you got right here. This chick with this gun.
Mm-hmm.
These are pretty hot. Where she's standing up with the gun upright. This has been a solid 6 pictures.
Yeah, you know what we forgot to do though? We forgot to load a clip in there.
The camo bikini is a nice touch too.
Yeah.
It's pretty good because she's like a milk stick, and then there's like a black stick right there, and it just works out.
Well, guys, this is actually Vanessa James, and you can find her online. She looks a hell of a lot different nowadays. She got really deep into horror films and the whole horror goth industry, and she goes by the horror vixen online. So she looks nothing like this anymore. Just, this is just, if you guys want to go check her out, you'll be like, she still looks hot as hell. Just definitely way different with makeup and hair and everything like that. But that's cool. So Godzilla and Kong, definitely, recommended if you're hanging with your kids and you want to put something on with the kids. Good movie for that. But let's roll into Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Can I have 2 seconds? Just what you were talking about. Like, I don't get hardcore horror people like that. That it kind of infiltrates their lifestyle. Like
Yeah.
I get it if you like the Freddy movies, Nightmare on Elm Street. And I always say, living in Hollywood, dude. Like I know some folks, and man, if every day was Halloween, they would be in absolute utopia. I don't get it. But that's not to knock that young lady. Like whatever floats your boat, my dear. I just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier. What's up?
Falcon and the Snowman.
Falcon and the Snowman, guys. So we had episode 3 drop last week in the show, and we saw the, Falcon Winter Soldier basically now are with Zemo. Baron Zemo, and they need to go they're trying to find out who has the super serum, and they go to basically a country I'd never heard, Mariporia, I think was the name of the country. That's the Madripoor, and it's
Maripoeur.
Okay,
it's weird. It's made up.
It's made up. That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute, where?
Yeah.
So it's basically the smuggler's cantina. It is the den of thieves, the den of murderers and criminals, and they go there to basically find out who's making all the super serum that the Flag Smashers are using. So, what'd you guys think? Brian, start us off. What'd you think on that?
Yeah, I'll say, well, the one thing that I thought that was cool about that is the only thing I ever really paid attention, or I kind of knew about that place, was in some of the Wolverine comics through the years. It's been a secret place. And then I'm not positive, but I think that's where the Scarlet Witch ended up in the very last episode of WandaVision. Now, I do not think she's going to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I'll say this. I'm going to get this out real quick. I had an interesting kind of change of overall thought. This episode might have finally kind of broken me a little bit, in a sense that I think I'm officially starting to get marveled out. Like I found myself just kind of like, okay, I see where we're going. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's nothing against the characters, the actors. Like, I do think the show, like, it looks great. I read a ton of comics growing up, so I'm familiar with that. And I think, like, and this was happening to me here or there. Like, certain sequels were not hitting for me. Like, the second Iron Man, the third Iron Man. I did like Whiplash because I think Mickey Rourke is amazing. And there was some great aspects of Iron Man 2. I know those were a few years ago also, but I started to notice, like, I think I might be – Marvel fatigue might be officially settling in on me personally. I was wondering when that was going to come. And it could have just been because I kind of tore through WandaVision and then this came up. And I traditionally am not – I like a good blockbuster kind of CGI effect movie, but it was coincided with – I don't know if you guys have ever watched a movie called Another Day in Paradise. It probably came out in 98, 99, 2000, so we were all pretty young. But I saw that, John, I probably saw that like kind of in between San Diego and LA for the first time. It's James Woods, it's Vincent Kartheiser, it's Melanie Griffith, and Natasha Gregson Wagner, who is actually one of Aubrey Hepburn's daughter. Lou Diamond Philippines. It's a gritty, like 16 millimeter, like heroin guys, James Woods and his wife take this young couple on, and they do these small time scores basically to support a heroin addict. And it popped on, like I think it was IFC or something. And I watched that like over the same time period of the weekend I was watching, and I enjoyed it so much more. And I don't know, maybe it was like as what I do as a writer and personally, like things that I probably tend to write more about. I'm not trying to write like the new Captain Marvel. Like it's cool and that stuff's fun, but I like the episode. I'm okay with the show, but that was my biggest takeaway. I was kind of lukewarm. Like if that was a full blown movie, like I don't know if I might have pulled a Mikey, might have been passed out.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Good segue. I fell asleep. I was marbled out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was feeling this, the Falcon the Snowman, and
right.
I turned it on, just snoozeville. Like Bucky couldn't keep me in it. I don't got much to say about it really, because I honestly fell asleep. I have
a question for you. What level of volume do you have shows on when you fall asleep? Because I'm impressed sometimes. Like you're not falling asleep to like The Crown. Like, you're falling asleep to action stuff. Which,
I have. Okay, that's a great question.
Masterpiece Theater or something like that.
Let me comment on that. That's a great question. So I'm a DJ, and behind me you can see a lot of DJ equipment. There's a lot in this garage, let me tell you. When COVID hit and I lost my job, I should say not my job, my career. In fact, all of them. What was I? I stayed around the house. I watched the kids, and I could watch Netflix. So what I did was I took like my toys out of the garage and put them in my house. So to answer your question, I have some massive speakers in my living room, a sub. I have freaking lights that are sound activated, and I turn it all on for all this stuff. And I could sleep through a freaking train wreck. And when it's time to go, it's go. But I mean, I don't fall asleep till like 11, 30, sometimes 1:30. So it's a little bit later after everyone goes down. But
I feel like you could be in the middle of Studio 54, strobe light blaring, and you're like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna take a quick fiber, guys. Don't worry about me. I'm good." And by the way,
it's a disco nap for a reason.
I thought all that stuff in the background was part of your BDSM dungeon.
Yeah, all the whips and cables.
Yeah. But if it's DJ equipment, Mikey, I guess I believe you.
Those are XLRs, cables, and extension cords. So yeah.
Like
I was getting worried, Mike. I was thinking you're starting to develop some narcolepsy with as much as you fall asleep in these things. Like
I get beat up all day, and at like 9 p.m. I could start watching this stuff, and I gotta watch my other stuff too. So, and by that time, I am about a six-pack porn. Porn's all day. I'm about a 6-pack of joints down and about a 22-pack of freaking what I like to call white girl seltzers.
Nice. No, I have heard though, dude, because John and I obviously we don't have kids, but it is my understanding that sometimes when the kids it's timed out, like a few hours later, the adults basically go down in the same manner. It's just
we don't have that much time until it's lights out for us.
Yeah.
Can I comment about this woman?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I'm liking it too.
Dude, some of these are freaking smoking hot, dude. I like a woman pointing a gun at me. It just feels good.
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah.
Put the gun down. Karen. Don't give me that baby in the woods shit, Karen.
And she's got a rosary on. I mean, dude, I like Catholic chicks. They're hot.
I've been meaning to do another shoot like this. This was a fun shoot. I want to try to find another girl who's down to do shots like this. We shot a lot of different weapons.
Hold on. I got a gun around here somewhere. Hold on a second.
Her bottoms look like they fit very well, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So
here's – wait, hold on a second.
Oh,
this is a flare gun. This is from World War II. This is actually – how do I do it here? This freaking thing works. I found it at a garage sale for $25. But hold on a second.
Just see Mikey firing off a flare gun inside the studio.
What were you going to do with the gun, Brian?
Yeah, you want to get some viewers? Yeah, let me set this thing off.
It was a flare gun. It was a flare gun.
This is legit.
Breakfast Club? Anybody? Breakfast Club?
Air Force. This is Air Force. World War II. This is legit. Thank you.
Pretty rad.
Can you get flares for it? Did you still load a flare to that thing?
I haven't looked, but no. I mean, here, listen. The pin works.
That's like a starting pistol.
This thing works. This thing
Good
works.
snap. Yeah.
It's worth a good $200. I got it for $25. But anyway, I just want to say, watch out. I'm a liberal with a lot of guns.
I like it.
So basically, my take on this episode, I liked it. I liked the character of Baron Zemo. I didn't know much about him from the comic books, but I like that actor who's playing that role. He just seems very methodical, serial killer. He just plays, and he just seems like he just gets into people's heads, and he can just manipulate. I liked him in Captain America: Civil War. I thought he was great, so I really did enjoy that. The whole storyline where they're undercover and Sam's phone goes off in the middle of that's when I kind of started going no. That wouldn't happen. The guy, these guys are pros. They wouldn't just leave their cell phone on. So that kind of seemed super weird. The other thing was Sharon Carter coming out. And I was like, oh, cool, awesome.
Right.
But at the same time, it's okay, so she was with the U.S. government selling, CIA and, patriotic. And now she's in a drug country den selling stolen artwork, and hosting rave parties at her place, and then on top of that, suddenly she can beat the crap out of 20 hired assassins. I don't remember any of them.
Is that foreshadowing? You think that she might take a turn? Maybe she's going to become a bad guy, quote unquote. I was wondering that.
Maybe, or they're trying to set her up for her own show or spy show or something like that. But I don't remember in the movies her being able just to fight like that and beat the crap out of anybody. And I just thought that, once again, I just think it's just kind of the woke agenda, Mary Sue, just women can do anything. It's you can do that, but please give me some backstory. If you're going to start that, have them run into her training with some martial arts expert, instead of just going from, oh, here's Sharon Carter and she can armbar guys twice her size, kind of thing, and take on a whole army of assassins by herself.
It's kind of the same issue with Black Widow, right? As badass as the character is, she is a human body. If she gets punched or smashed in the face or falls from a 20-foot building, bones will break, blood will spill.
Yeah, same thing with Ronan. Same thing with Hawkeye. They don't have superhuman abilities. These people will get hurt. Now, Natasha, Black Widow, when she goes and fights, I believe it because they set it up. They set it up that from the time of her birth, she's been going through assassin school her whole life and all these tests and all this crazy stuff. So I just don't like when they kind of do that kind of. So I had an issue with the phone going off. I had an issue with that. And then once again, I just have an issue with the character of Flag Smasher. When at the end of the movie, they're going in, they're raiding the facility. Okay, cool. I get it. They're raiding the facility. They're getting supplies, 6 months worth of supplies. They're hoarding them. I just don't believe her. And then suddenly she's going to murder everybody inside of the building. She just doesn't look sadistic like that. Like I said before, she looks like a girl from the OB Farmers Market in the show. That would
John,
be selling Ganja Goo balls and kombucha.
You're so negative on these girls. You're so negative. It's crazy, man.
No, I'm not. Dude,
you clap when Yoda, a freaking
because it's Mikey, it's the story. Because it's the
everybody
story.
up.
No, because it's the story, Mike. It's what we were saying. You can't get into the Cape Crusaders anymore because you just can't buy their story. I just can't buy these stories. You have to, if you're going to insert this kind of stuff, you have to have some kind of setup. You have to kind of explain things. You can't just insert these things and it's just oh, okay. But the Flag Smasher girl, I just don't believe her act. I just don't believe her. when she's sitting there and she just murders all those people, I just don't see that person doing it. She doesn't look crazy enough. She doesn't look like a killer. She doesn't look sadistic enough. Like
that's why when you go to strip clubs, they take your wallet. Like you lose your wallet, John. They're the cute ones are the ones that will assassinate you, and that's not true. I know you don't lose your wallet. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that, but look, if you look at a guy like Baron Zemo and his character and the way he acts, you can easily within a minute on screen, 2 minutes on screen, understand that guy would murder and mass murder people. He just has the look. He plays the part. Okay. And this isn't just a slight on the chicks or anything like that. It's just like, I like Sharon Carter. I just don't like what they're writing with their character. I don't like how they're writing her character. That's it. If they're going to write that stuff, just give us some backstory, or explain what's going on. They could have easily done a cutscene in the thing, and she could have explained, well, they could have just jump cut from where they're like, where you been? What happened? Why are you here? And then you could have done like some sort of flashback to her just like training and all this stuff. And, they could have explained it. I just don't. It's a streaming show. They have all the time in the world. It's Marvel. It's Disney. They have all the money in the world. You can throw in 3 minutes to explain that stuff.
You're asking for character development.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's a reasonable ask. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like good character writing. But I'm also the type of person, I'll watch bootlegs online, so I'm looking at the shitty quality version so I'm not distracted by the CGI, because I'm really obsessed with, I want to know the story. I want to see the character development. I want to see the writing. Anybody can do the CGI and the special effects and this and that and green screens and blue screens. We know everybody can do that. But what I'm really concerned about nowadays is the actual writing. And I think what happens now is there's just this movement where they're just trying to put women in all these roles, girl power this, but it's like, it's falling flat because the story development is just horrible.
Well, let me say something, and I'm not saying you're wrong, because in the Coming Back to America or whatever, one thing we didn't touch on was that Louis Nelson, right? The white guy in Coming to America? Was it Louis? Louis Anderson.
Oh, Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson was casted in the original Coming to America because the studio said, you have to cast a white person. You can't have a movie with all black people. It's true. Look it up. So I see what you're saying. And although he actually fit it, I see what you're saying. If it's not, they have to put these characters in there because they have to check boxes. I hear what you're saying, and they're not well written. Okay, so I take back my comment. You're all right, John. You're all right.
Yeah, if we have to demand from these studios that they really focus on story. Otherwise, we're gonna keep on getting crap. This isn't anti-women. It ain't anti-black. It ain't anti. It's just give us good stories.
Right.
Like, we talk about all these movies from back in the day because they weren't. They just wrote it. They just wrote good stories. They focused on the writing. That's the building block of a movie, And Brian knows that as a scriptwriter. That's what I kind of just hope for going forward. But I'm enjoying the show. I still love Marvel. I'm not marveled out. I can't wait to see Loki. They dropped the trailer. We can maybe talk about that next week. But we are running a little bit behind. So why don't we go ahead and start with our Women Crush Wednesday for the week? We're at 5:45. Chelsea isn't here, so it gives us a good time to. You guys ready for Women Crush Wednesday?
I'm always ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to run our Women Crush Wednesday, and we'll go through our girls super quick, and then we'll bring Chelsea on. So let's go and we'll check out this. We're going to add this to the stream right there. And boom. Cool. And we are back, guys. So this is Women Crush Wednesday. This is a segment of the show where we do a roundtable discussion on some of our favorite, like women of the week. It could be actresses, singers, exotic dancers, porn stars, anything. Just anybody that we think is just out there crushing it. And we'll go back here and share screen, and we'll pull up Brian's Women Crush Wednesday of the week is the lovely Scarlett Johansson, which we're using her fan page because Scarlett Johansson actually has no social media.
Part of my selection, part of the reason for it. For one, yeah, I think I mean, she's not like a diamond, like you're right, like somebody like hey, you just came across an Instagram page. Most people know who she is. For me, extremely impressed with what she said about over a week ago, and I know a lot of people don't like this, referring to on certain things, especially in the climate that we're in, maybe actors need to stop mouthing off about trying to be some political, megaphone because they know all. Super impressed because she clearly has something to lose, right? And isn't her head Marvel employer the same as Gina Carano's?
Yeah, Disney.
Relatively speaking, right?
Yeah, and she has a movie that's about ready to drop.
Yeah, Black Widow. So I just overall impressed that she would come out and say that, and the fact that some of her Marvel co-stars, your Chris Hemsworth or Chris Evans or Mark Ruffalo, these guys chirp a lot. So I'll be brief and I'll try not to be too big of a dick. For one, and I'm not saying that college matters. I'd say 90% of fucking actors never went to college. So nobody has a fucking degree from Georgetown and poli-sci, right? Nobody has a degree from Harvard in political science. Like they don't even have a semester under their belt. Yet because they have all this fame and this quote unquote platform, it thinks they give the right to tell people everything that you think is wrong because what I think is right. I think it's absolute horseshit, and it's not what America's about, right? Like people who wanted a Democratic president and they won, fine. Republicans shut up for a while. You guys get your time in the sun, and it should go both ways. We've crossed the point where that's not really the case. But what impressed me again with Scarlett is there's a fantastic book. A guy named Tom Nichols. I think the book's 4 or 5 years old now. It's called The Death of Expertise. And basically what this guy was writing about was you go to a doctor these days, or no, let's say, Mikey, let's say you're a fucking you're a surgeon, you do brain surgery. You work at the Mayo Clinic out in Wisconsin, which is one of the premier clinics, or Emory in Georgia. These are super fucking high-end, medical places in the United States. And a guy comes in, he's telling you got a problem, or he's telling you, his problem, and you diagnose him. And the motherfucker goes, well, I read on the internet. It's like, oh, did you? Oh, did you? Because the internet has become what? The Cliff Notes of the world. And hence death of expertise, right? Like people will second guess a doctor who's practiced for 20, 25 years, never had a lawsuit of any kind against him. And people are like, well, I read on the internet. And so again, my point is to people that I think Scarlett Johansson was saying should probably pipe down about stuff they don't really know about, because really all they're doing is spewing a megaphone of opinion, as opposed to a lot of times like serious fact or whatever. And again, people can have opinions, that's fine. But let's say we were all on a plane and we were going to go to Italy. And guess who walks in up the stairs and stands in front of all, and it's Chris Evans, Captain America, the actor. He goes, hey guys, guess what? I told the pilot to beat it. I'm going to go ahead and fly us there. Would we feel fucking comfortable with that? Fuck no. So don't tell me what to feel about my politics either, because I don't trust you to fly my plane. Or if we were going to go to Colicchio, the guy that does Top Chef, or Bobby Flay, we go to one of their restaurants, and Mark Ruffalo walks out, and he's like, hey guys, guess what? I told Colicchio and Bobby Flay to take the night off. I'm going to go ahead and cook the meal. Get fucked, dude. Get fucked. So Scarlett Johansson, I applaud you. Regardless of the fact that you are super beautiful, I think you showed sincerity in what you said, and I think a lot of men could take that and take some notes along with other people. So that's why Scarlett Johansson is my Woman Crush Wednesday. Sorry if that got political. It wasn't my intent.
I saw when she did that made some pretty big news on the entertainment sites. I mean, she kind of just dropped that bomb, and she was pretty blunt. You were very diplomatic, and she was way more blunt about what she said than the way you put it. But I remember that happened last week. I'm going to jump over to mine, and mine is Lindsay Nicole Price. And I actually found her through another photographer who tagged me on Bikini Girl magazine. And I, not a huge, massive following, just like a really beautiful girl. Found her online. She's modeling up in the Laguna Beach area, OC area. I liked her pictures, and I was like, yeah, just really gorgeous. So apparently she was an NFL, she was a Charger girl. So San Diego, there you go, Mike. You never even knew that she was a Charger girl.
Hey,
but this is why I picked her for this week, because this is like an issue that I've been really kind of on for a long time, is this right here. And recently another model I worked with had made like a really vulnerable, expressive post on Instagram about what's going on with models and body dysmorphia and addiction to plastic surgery and depression, and how social media is really causing a lot of depression in models. And I came across this girl's post today, and I read through the whole thing, which is definitely worth checking it out, guys. Follow her and go read this. And she's basically talking about the two different types of her, like her thinking on the left that this was what beauty was. And I mean, you can tell right there, like she's almost damn anorexic.
That's the same girl?
That's the same
crazy.
girl.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, and it comes to this thing that I've always been a proponent of telling girls, like, hey, you can achieve like your goals and you can look super hot. Just eat healthy. Like, don't do drugs. Like, you don't need Adderall. Hit the gym, just work out. Don't starve yourself, because you're starving yourself. You're not giving your body nutrients, and it's gonna really affect yourself. If you're gonna do modeling as a career and beauty as a career and entertainment, you need to think about 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road. So this is, I mean, if you saw both girls walking down the beach, which one are you taking? Which one looks more healthy? Yeah, like, so
a little bit of up in the air on that one.
Oh, wait, I meant this way.
This way, yeah, other way. So, but this also takes the reason is that this takes a lot of balls to just like, or vag basically, to toss this up online and make a comparison like this of yourself and put it out there to the world. Like, hey, this is where I was and this is where I am now. Like, it actually is. It's like when they say strong and brave, you hear, strong and brave. Like, this is actually pretty brave shit to, because you're going to have trolls, you're going to have haters, you're going to have people screenshot this stuff. So that is my Women Crush Wednesday of the week. So
what I got out of that was don't serve dinner on a mirror.
Yeah, that's true. So let's jump over
delicious
real quick, and then we'll jump over to Mikey. Then we'll run 2 commercials, and looks like Chelsea's in the green room for us. Now, Mikey's girl, Acropolis, 1989. Yeah, buddy.
So
lovely Germans.
I don't even know her name, but look at those beautiful, gigantic eyes.
Yes.
I mean, those are just the most amazing eyes.
Those eyes right there, right?
Ever seen in my life. It's like her high beams are on, and all I see are her eyes. Amazing. Okay, I'm making jokes.
She almost has like those Asian anime eyes, or what's that?
Yeah, for sure.
So I was actually trying to act like I was talking about her nipples, but it didn't work. But no, honestly, you can buy boobs. Everyone has nipples. You can be cold and they will stick out. But honestly, though, the eyes do it for me. I wasn't joking. Just the big saucer eyes do it, and then she has the matching nipples, so That helps out a lot.
Yeah.
But again, you can buy boobs all day long. Big ones, and not wear a bra, and that'll draw all the attention in the world. But these pics would not be as amazing without those eyes, for real.
Oh my God!
So yeah, that's my Women Crush Wednesdays. There's a lot going on in these photos. But she is the type that we do talk schmack about, where it's just one style of picture, just the selfie.
Same selfie, same pose,
same selfie every time. But as much as we talk schmack about it, with this chick, it works.
It works.
Those eyes, I can just zero in on just the face, and just the eyes. The eyes tell the story. But yeah, the hard nipples definitely help out.
Yeah, it looks like she's using a ring light for a lot of these different shots, which definitely will bring out the eye color in the eyes of whoever. It's a beauty light, so you can see in there she's got that little bit of a ring in the shot. So
that helps.
Good choice, guys. Well, as always, for our Women Crush Wednesday, everybody go ahead in the comments down below. Who was your favorite Women Crush Wednesday of the week? Is it Scarlett Johansson? Just some buddy we came across. Nobody's ever heard of her before. Is it Lindsay Nicole Price? Or is it Acropolis 1989? And her parents were really creative at birth with that name. So it's pretty interesting. So let's go ahead, guys. And we're going to run a couple commercials real quick. And then we'll come back with our beautiful model of the day, Miss Chelsea Hunter. She's getting ready for us, guys. All right, so let's check out a little commercial from the Hemp. So, go.
Hey, thanks for letting me borrow your bicycle last week, now. Hello, Maya! Shaka-lion! Shaka-Khan! I love you, Donovan!
You can't run, you can't roll, you can't hide. I'm the Port Authority.
Mama told you that? Snitches get stitches, Mama.
Stop spreading those lies about Mama, Sean, okay?
Okay, get me.
That's a good duck.
I love you, Donovan!
I don't know. I've seen that guy. I've known him. I don't know if he's the type to be a duck fucker.
Oh, Daddy's never ready. Oh, God! Here you go, Donovan. Nobody talks about my mama. Fuck you and your mama, child.
You know she good at,
Hell no.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, Hemp. Who the fuck is Chin May?
I don't know.
Get that shit out of here!
I'm gonna have me and my brother fuck the shit out of your mama.
And we are joined by the lovely Chelsea Hunter. What is up, Chelsea?
Hola! What did we just watch?
That is my doing. I'm somewhat of a director writer in Hollywood, and we don't have a lot to do during COVID. My buddy does the character. That's why it's all outside. But yeah, that's my doing.
Oh my God!
Hi, I'm Brian.
Hilarious, but I was like, what are we watching right now?
That hurt. Yeah, I gotta go take a shower now. That was weird.
It is weird.
But Chelsea, thank you, Chelsea. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
John's gonna be back on in just a moment.
I'm here.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. I had some camera issues going on.
Yeah, it was probably that whatever you just played, your camera just puked.
That's right. John's in the shitter. He's trying.
No offense, Brian.
No, dude, none taken. Trust me. But yes, it is very nice to have you on, Chelsea, and for you to join us on our show here. So,
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
So
I liked the Woman Crush Wednesday.
Oh, very cool. You like our little segment?
Who was your favorite?
I don't know. I was really actually, I was intrigued by John's, to tell you the truth, because now I want to like go to her Instagram and check her out. But, it's so interesting because meeting different models throughout the years, in all kinds of different areas of modeling, I've worked with a lot of girls who are, bulimic and are anorexic. And there he is.
There I am.
He's back.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Something that girls don't think about is if you are anorexic or bulimic for an extended period of time, you can literally lose your fertility. Like you will not be able to bear children.
Wow.
Yeah. So it could, because, and I thought of that, John, because you were saying, girls need to think about it in terms of like longevity. And it's, not just obviously about your career, but your health and your well-being and your,
right.
You know what I mean? Like your legacy. Is it really worth it to be like 20 pounds lighter just so you won't be able to have kids the rest of your life? Like, no, hell no,
Horrible.
But it can cause infertility if you, are too skinny for too long. It's crazy, right?
I've seen it, we both work in the same industry, and I've seen it several times. Girls will come to shoots. I had it in the past where a girl showed up to a shoot, and I actually had to Photoshop her ribs out of the photos. Because when we brought them to the magazine, they were like, what are you, crazy, dude? Like, and you could see like everything. She was just skeleton.
Yeah.
And you got to realize the camera adds weight also.
So she was like super, super thin.
Yeah, she was very, very thin. She was 80 something pounds, maybe at the most.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. But I it's kind of why I picked her as we've probably seen it. Chelsea, have you ever encountered that with all the jobs that you've been on, where the pressure from casting directors? You've worked for. Why don't we start by just tell us about you? Tell us about your career. We'll go into that first and come back to that subject.
Yeah. And I would love to touch on that. It's kind of a funny story how I got started. I did not ever initially have like this, I want to be a model, I want to be an actor, oh my God, that's all I want in life. I was working this like really shitty sales job at the time that I hated. You guys, I would like wake up in the morning and just like cry. I'd be like, I don't want to go. Like I hated it.
Office Space.
No, it was just god awful. And I started just having fun, kind of like doing some modeling on the side. And I was doing bottom of the barrel stuff. I was doing like bar promos and like, hey, you want these like cheap beats for like whatever.
Well, you pack of salted nuts?
Yeah, basically. It was like I was doing bottom of the barrel stuff. I was just like doing whatever I could, but again, at the beginning, it was just to have fun. And I hired by this little promotional company. And then like I just started working with better photographers, and I kind of started building a little portfolio. I got my start actually in Tucson, Arizona, which is a very small market. You would never be able to work full time as a model or an actor in that market. But the great thing is I kind of started building my portfolio, that way. And so then when I moved to LA, I was offered a transfer for that job. And I did not want to transfer. I was like, I'll do anything. And I was looking at my income at the time, doing my 40 plus hours a week at my shitty office job. I was selling like paper clips and pens for freaking Office Max. And then I was looking at my income. It was horrible. And then I was looking at my income.
Where's the stapler? Where's the
stapler? Who took my stapler? Yeah. So, and then I looked at my income that I was making at all these random stupid jobs that I was just doing for fun. And I was almost making the same amount of money, like just doing it on the side for fun. And I'm like, you know what? At the time we were moving to California, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try this full time and see what happens. And so we moved to California, and I dove in, had, all in to the pool, and I never looked back. And I did it full time. I did modeling and acting full time for almost 15 years in LA. And I hustled hard. I mean, I started out doing like the shittiest shit jobs, and then obviously I worked my way up. But a lot of people, they come to LA and they say, oh yeah, I'm a model, I'm an actor, but really like they're serving tables on the side, or they're, doing secretary work, or they're doing Lyft or Uber or whatever. But that was all I did. I mean, that was all I did, was modeling and acting full time. And again, it wasn't easy. I had ups and downs, but I hustled like a mofo, and I really, really enjoyed my career. So, yeah.
So when you got to LA, I mean, that is just like walking into such a behemoth. How did you start? Like, what was it? What was some of the resources that you used to kind of like get yourself around? Like, how do I find jobs? How do I find castings? What did you do to kind of research that?
So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of stumbled when I first got there, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I had nobody to like guide me, tell me what to do. I really, in the very, very beginning, I relied heavily on social media, and then eventually I found sort of like some casting websites. And really, for the majority of my career, I had some pretty good casting agents, but most of the actors that I know who really hustle, until you get up to the upper echelons where, you are kind of a pretty well-known name. You're just a number. You are just a number, at the talent agencies, at the casting agencies, and you have to go out and hustle for yourself. And so I would just comb the casting boards. LA casting was like my big one, and Actors Access. Those were my big ones that I would just go through them every single day. I would go through all my emails that I would get. And if I even remotely qualified for the job, I would submit myself, And in the beginning, I was living in San Diego, which is, how you and I met, John. And I was commuting up to LA 4 days a week, which is insane.
Dude.
Yes. Like four plus days a week for auditions and stuff.
For our audience members out there, if you're not familiar with Southern California, even though San Diego and LA is technically only 90 minutes away, you could literally find yourself sitting in traffic for 3.5 hours.
Oh, more. I mean, John, there were times when like there would be a bad accident on the 5, in between, where there's nowhere to get off. And I mean, I've been in a jam before where it took me almost 5 hours to get to LA for an audition.
It doesn't.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and then obviously once I got a little more established, I got some good agents, and they would help out. But again, I would still say like 90% of my work came from my own hustle.
American hustle.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
How did you stay away from not knowing, like you said, you just kind of stumbled in the beginning. How did you have a spidey sense to stay away from kind of like just the bad shit in Hollywood, the Weinsteins and those type of people? Because I mean, you're absolutely gorgeous. Like, we all see that, right? And I'm just imagining that at some point, hey, you and Mikey could do like the hair flip game right there. I think his is longer than yours.
It might be. Is it? I can't see the end of it, Mikey.
It's down there.
Dang, it is long. It's long. It's pretty long.
You can trade styling tips.
You got mad hair game going on.
Hey, I need something. I'm 42. Whatever I can get.
So, but how did you avoid that? I mean, did that ever happen to you?
It did. And there, it's so sad, because Hollywood preys on these young girls who come in and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And I was one of them, and it happens. I think I would be surprised. Every, good friend I've ever talked to who's been in the industry for any amount of time has had some type of skeezy, scummy, sleazy scumbag experience. Like, it does. It happens before you know, and before you get that spidey sense, and before you know kind of like different ways to filter through some of that stuff. I think one of my worst experiences, I shot with a photographer down in San Diego, and he blew me up. You know what? If these turn out good, I might submit you for this like really high-end magazine, and we'll see, you know, if he likes your photos. He like, you know, built me up like, if you're lucky, you might get to shoot with this guy. So then this big wig guy, oh my gosh, my like hand is on fire over here with the light. Anyway, this big wig guy, you know, I'm so lucky he chose me. We go up to LA for this shoot. I'm not kidding you guys. It was now they hated me. They hated me because I didn't go along with the thing. But it turns out it was probably a porn shoot. And because this is what they did. They sat me down and this guy was like, I'm in charge of all these magazines. You know, we're going to shoot today. We're going to shoot a bunch of different content and I'm going to, you know, get you published in all these magazines and blah, 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 blah. So we sit down. It's me and this other girl. I still remember her name, Jordan something. Anyway, so we sit down and they say, okay, we want to, you know, set a baseline. What are you comfortable with? And I'm like, I'm totally comfortable with implied, but I don't show nipple. I don't show vag, like no nudity. I'm comfortable with implied, but no nudity. I'm totally comfortable like being nude in front of the photographer and between shots and between sets and whatever I have no problem with that. But like actual taking pictures, no nudity. Okay. So, and they're like, no problem. So this is the problem. They're like, all right, everybody get in one Chester the Molester van. and so it's like me, Jordan, the photographer, and a photographer assist, 2 camera guys, I think 2 lighting guys, a sound guy. It was like a crew, you know.
That's a bus.
Yeah. Oh, and 2 makeup artists and a hairstylist. My lighting just like totally changed.
Definitely sounds like a bus.
Yeah. So what happened was, okay, so we get out there and he starts shooting, click, and I'm like posing, you know what I mean? And I hear him clicking as I'm changing positions, and I'm like, I wasn't really like ready to shoot yet, you know? And he's like, well, and he just laid into me. He yelled at me so bad. He was like, you're so inexperienced. You're never going to be anything. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to blacklist you. Nobody's ever going to want to work with you. Blah, blah, blah. He just like laid into me for, I mean, it felt like 10 minutes, but it was probably like 30 seconds or something. But it was in front of the whole crew. And I just started sobbing. And I just remember I went to the makeup artist and I was like, like trying to like maintain my makeup, you know? Oh. And she was like, it's okay, it's going to be okay. But slowly but surely, they were like, take off more clothes. And I just remember at like part of the shoot, I look over and Jordan had said the same thing. She was like, yeah, no nudity. And I look over and she's like, bent over a rock, like nothing on. Yeah. And I'm like, and then they just kept like, okay, like act like you're going to kiss and blah, blah. I don't know. It just, but the whole time I at least I was kind of old enough and comfortable enough in my skin that I held my ground pretty well. You know, I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. But then they would just yell at me, and he tried so hard to bully me into getting the shots that he wanted, but I just wouldn't give him what he wanted. And that was my worst experience.
Good for you for holding your ground.
Well, and thank God I was a little bit older, because had it been, you know, even maybe a year earlier, I don't know if I would have been able to stand up to him, you know. Right. But he just used, I'm going to blackmail you. You're never going to work with anybody in this town ever again. I know everybody. And for a young girl I wasn't that desperate to like make it to the upper echelon, you know what I mean? But for a girl who is just, that's all she wants, that's her dream, you know, I mean, it was just looking back on it now, it was a very disturbing abuse of his power, you know.
Predatory.
Yeah, it was super predatory. Yeah.
Well, and what about the crew? Like just watching that happen. Like,
right? I think that, and I'm like, how come nobody like stepped in, did something? You know,
because they do that every single day. That's how they get paid.
I know.
That's how all the scumbags get paid.
Yeah.
Speaking as a man here who watches like a lot of porn, the stuff that pops up like that where you can see that the chick is not into it, I'm flipping the channel. Like It's just I could just tell the predatory stuff, and I mean I don't even get into that fetish stuff, and it's just like no, it's just no. Give me a professional, thank you.
Yeah.
That
And yeah, and you're not gonna get good shots. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you can tell that the girl's like not into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, it always seems up here like anybody who's not like a massive name is screaming, "I'm gonna blacklist you," is a dude that's got very little like
doesn't know anybody
anywhere. Right?
I know. God, I don't know what I look like a ghost right now. I'm trying to like fix my lighting, but I
look good.
can't.
No, you look good. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
It's just like
Between the four of us, you look the best. If that's
Speak for yourself, buddy.
We're in like dark
long
caves.
hair. Not bad long hair.
We're in these dark caves, and she's got like this angelic beaming light on her. Like, look at that.
I'm
got light on. I don't know why I'm so dark.
I'm in front of my window, but the light is changing because the sun is setting. So, but it's like it's just getting like super white. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just call you Casper for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I know. I'm like
Casper Hunter.
But anyway,
that's a trip. I mean, I've done I don't know how many shoots, hundreds of shoots, and I just can't imagine. Like what you pointed out, it just goes against how you actually would get a good shot. Like if you're going to shoot with a model, and this is somebody that you usually just met, and even if it's like a nude shoot or an implied nude shoot, you have to like within a half hour become comfortable with this person that they trust you to take their clothes off. And that only happens by just being chill and cool. Like I can't imagine being somebody who's going to start screaming at somebody and yelling at them and like threatening them that you would even get good photos like or video or anything like that. So
yeah, it was awful. It was the worst. That was to date the worst experience I've ever had. And same thing. And yeah, exactly. I mean, I was thinking in my head like this, you know, if I'm like, you know, say I'm posed like this, right? I'm like covering my nipples, whatever. If I'm gonna like change, you're not gonna get a good photo. Like I'm not connecting with the camera. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
not even take the photo. It's just so stupid. So stupid. You're not even gonna get a good shot.
So you were
There's so many girls out there who are totally willing to give you what you want. Why not just like use them, you know?
Right.
So now I understand. You were actually doing implieds, but he was trying to snap the photo in between and get nip slips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is so stupid. Like you're not even gonna get anything good. Like why?
No, you're gonna
Yeah.
just get like these awkward
amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. But there was something that you had said before and we were like, oh, we'll come back to that.
Oh, we're talking about the body dysmorphia and just the pressure on the women nowadays to So I'll just preface it. My theory is that with the advent of social media and filters on the phones, I am starting to see like a little bit of like a psychosis in society where women are looking at these cell phone filtered photos of themselves so much that it's starting to change the wiring in their brain. And what they're doing is they're going and getting plastic surgery and putting themselves in debt and depression because they're trying to look like the filtered versions of themselves in real life.
Yes. Have you heard of that? It's like it's a real thing that these women are going to plastic surgeons and they're saying, make me look like my Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is.
I met a lot of girls through the quarantine that are doing some crazy stuff to their bodies and considering doing crazy stuff to their bodies. And I just try to tell them, I'm like, dude, like, it's an addiction. I met a girl, she was telling me that she was going to have her nose done. And I was like, why? Like, your nose is fine. No, it does this weird thing. It does this. And it's this weird thing with people and image that they see photos of themselves and they only focus on the negative. of themselves. It happens with business portraits, headshots all the time. I get somebody, they're just like, no, not that photo. My eyelash, this one eyelash curls in such a weird little way. And I tell them, I'm like, nobody's ever going to see that. You're the only person who knows that, and nobody's ever going to see that. But so do you see that happening to models that you know? Like, have there been models that you came up with and actresses you came up with that kind of like nowadays you're kind of like, whoa, you look a little bit different?
I mean, for sure. I've worked with women throughout the years who, yeah, I'll see them again after, you know, I've worked with them on one shoot, and then the next shoot I'm like, whoa, who the hell are you? You know what I mean?
Hot dog lips.
Yeah. Oh, there was one girl. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Like, yeah. I mean, it literally looked like she had a freaking hot dog like on her face. It was so bad. Why? Why would you do that?
Why?
It's this body dysmorphia. You know, I don't know. But I think, you know, I have this saying, everything in life in moderation with the exception of hardcore drugs and violence. And so I just think, what were you going to say, Brian?
Everything in life, or no, everything in moderation, including moderation.
Yeah.
Kid Rock.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, you know, I don't think there's anything terrible about if there is something that has bothered you your whole life. If you're like, I hate my nose, I've always hated my nose, like, and it's the only thing, you know, that it makes you sad at night, you cry, like, okay, fine, go fix your freaking nose. Like, if that's what's gonna make you happy, then do it. But if you're a beautiful woman and you're, especially, you know, these girls who are just, they're already beautiful. Like, what are you, I don't know. But
it's the obsession. It's the obsession with the social media, and, you know, you get likes on this, that, and the other thing, but you didn't get it on this. Why is that? They question themselves in the mirror. I mean, men and women. I'm seeing a lot of dudes with, you know, like with, when you see that facelift, you know, you see the dudes with that super tight face. You know, when I do these crazy like corporate events, when they're, you know, they're spending millions on a party, and I see these dudes, they come out of the woodworks, and it's just like, what are you, like, oh my God, gentlemen.
Oh, I know.
But you know, to your point about the girl that has, you know, maybe she has a crooked witch's nose. It happens. But it's just like heroin. You know, you try it once, you're going to do it again, and it's going to keep going. A friend of mine recently got some facial work done, and she does well. She's a doctor. But I'm like terrified. You know, she's a friend of mine. I care about her. But I'm terrified, like, what is next? She had some Botox, you know? She got her eyebrows tattooed. And it's like that she just started making some good money. What's in 10 years, where's this gonna be at? You know, like it's sad to me. It's sad.
I like a little flaw. Like, if Jewel had ever fixed her tooth, I would have been livid.
I love crooked teeth.
Don't fix the tooth.
Love crooked teeth.
It's so hot. The little nook on the whatever. Like,
Little snaggle tooth.
I got a snaggletooth fetish for sure.
Oh.
Here's the thing, though. This is what I will say. Okay, now think about like a Jennifer Aniston or a Jennifer Lopez. Now, guys, those women have had work done, but it is very subtle and it is very tasteful and it is very good. So it's like,
I can't put myself in a position of a woman like that, or a celebrity who they have to look good. Their whole career is based on them looking good.
Right. That is a bit different, to be fair. You're right.
I can't relate. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about that. Just there are consequences. I mean, look at Lil' Kim. I mean, do you guys know Lil' Kim?
Yeah.
From the 90s. I'm definitely dating myself right now. But her face,
I know who Lil' Kim is.
all right. her face blew up. It blew up. You know? And it's like, dude, like, there's consequences for this. Or the ass thing right now is one thing that I'm just...
Wait, what is that? Why?
Thrown off.
It's literally like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I could, I big natural ass. Okay, you're well fed. It's cool. But I mean, like, I just imagine like snowboarding and falling. Like your ass is gonna pop.
You might rupture a butt cheek.
Oh my gosh.
The Brazilian butt lift. We talked about that a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
The girls, they purposely gain weight. They go in, they have all the fat sucked out of their body, and then they inject it into their butt.
Yes.
It's so gross to even talk
Crazy. I know. That is like a thing right now. That is a thing. Is the butt.
That is a thing. But I mean, I don't know. Again, I can't put myself psychologically. Some people just, if it makes him happy, I guess. Okay, right? I guess.
Yeah.
There is a line. There's a line to where it's okay. Is it impeding your health? Is it something that's gonna, you know what I mean, affect your mobility or your ability to have children or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
all these girls who are 25 years old that have had multiple surgeries, it's like, what are they going to look like 10 years down the road? What are they going to look like when they're 50?
Right.
I mean, the geriatric ladies, I used to call them plastic geriatrics, where I'd be doing these events and these 70-year-old women would be walking around with just these, like these, and it was freaky. Like, it was just freaky. Their faces didn't move at all. But then suddenly they just had all this skin hanging down from here. And, and I'm like, okay, well, you're 70 and you look like that. And then I'd run into girls who are 30 years old and their faces are just completely deadened for so much Botox. There's no muscle movement whatsoever. So it's just a weird thing. And I always like talking with somebody like Chelsea because, she has an insight from a woman's perspective of what her girlfriends are doing, what she sees in the industry. Have you ever felt pressured to go that route? Like, when you're doing jobs or castings, do they say to you, they're like, oh, well, we would have taken you, or we need somebody that's got a bigger ass. We're looking for this, or we need somebody with the, 40 double Ds or something like that.
I definitely have had clients who are looking for something different, but it's never made me want to change myself. I was just kind of more like, okay, well, I guess I'm not the right model for you. You just need to look for another model, The only client that I will ever say who was extremely condescending and extremely hard to work for, as far as like them just being very judgmental of your looks, the way you dressed, the way you looked, how much you weighed. I was a denim fit model for Guess for a while.
Oh, okay.
So to be a denim fit model, it's a little bit different. You have to have exact dimensions. So you have to have exact circumference of your thigh. And it can literally only be 1 centimeter. Like your thigh, your knee, your calf, your inseam, your rise. I mean, there's literally, I think there's like 20 different measurements. And it's a very, very specific job. So you cannot gain or lose really hardly any weight. And even if I would just lift too hard, like have a really hard day at the gym and I'd be like a little bit swole and I would come in and I wouldn't fit the jeans right. Oh my God, they would give me hell. They would give me hell. They would make me feel like shit. They would be like, you really need to watch what you eat, blah, 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 blah. And they would judge how you would come in dressed too, it was a hard job. It was a really hard job.
Can you explain to everybody out there what a fit model, like, why is it so specific? What are they doing with you?
Right.
As a fit model?
So the way denim works is they have a pattern for each different style that they make. They have a master pattern. And so they usually base it off a size 26 or 27, which is what I am. And they have you come in, they have you try on the jeans, and you're not taking any photographs. You're not, anything like that. What you're telling them is you're saying you're with the designer, you're with the pattern maker, you're with the seamstress, and I think like one other person or something. But there's about 5 or 6 people in the room. You go in, and it's quick. You go in the changing room, you get on a pair, you come out, and you literally do like I don't even know if I can like show you guys, but you try on the denim and you like,
oh, you can show us.
Up your knees, you like bend down, you know, and you just tell them, you're like, okay, it's tight in the waist. This knee is spinning on me. The opening for the ankle is too tight. And then boom, that's it. They take your notes, and then you go back in the room, do it for another pair. And then what they do is they make the adjustments. They call you in a week later. You try them on again. Okay, this is fixed. This is good. And then they make the entire run, like tens of thousands of pairs of jeans off of that master copy. And then they size it up or down based on that.
Dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But so it's very, 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 it's high pressure though, because you can't, it's literally, you know, centimeter. I mean, you cannot gain or lose any weight. So
Was it worth the money?
it was. It was good. It was.
Chelsea got paid.
They paid me really well. So
All about that. Get that paper. Hell yeah.
So even though they were super judgmental and it was a really hard job, they paid me very well.
You know,
So-
hey.
Do you have a question, Brian?
No.
No. I was going to say, so the interesting thing about Chelsea is that a lot of times models, like anything, like a photographer will focus just on wedding photography, and that's it, you know, and that's all that they're known for. But the interesting thing about Chelsea is that through her career, I mean, you're a professional go-go dancer, and you traveled all over the place doing go-go dancing for clubs and parties. And actually, Mike, she had mentioned, so Chelsea, you were doing, was it Monster? That you
Yes.
were?
Yeah, that's right. John had said that you were on the Monster Tour for a while, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the Monster Tour for a while also as a go-go dancer.
Did you do what is it? Supercross, stuff like that?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. We might have crossed paths. That's funny.
I know. When John said that, I was like, oh my gosh, how funny. What was the guy's name that I used to work with? He had a mohawk. Scott something?
Oh gosh. Hollywood. Was it Hollywood? Scott?
No. Scott something. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
Wild times. That was, running around different parts of the country on Monster. Yeah, gnarly.
yes. It was fun though. It was fun. Yeah, I traveled.
It was some
all
of the
over
best.
nation.
Some of the best times I've ever had, and I went to places in America that, like Indiana, like I never go to Indiana, you know, South Bend, Indiana. I was there, like, wow, that's cool. Good for you, Rad.
Yeah.
I've been to South Bend 5 times.
Hey,
Hey.
loser.
I mean, I
Notre
don't mean to
Dame is,
brag.
dude.
I don't mean to brag, but
You've never been to Notre Dame?
Hey, I'm so sorry, guys. I got to cut. There's something happening in my house that I have to deal with.
Okay.
Whoa.
Chelsea, you're awesome. Much respect for you and your career. Thank you for your insight. There's plenty more going on here, but I got to peace out. Much love. Thank you.
nice meeting
Bye,
you. Mwah.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So you went from go-go dancing and you're traveling around the country, and then you're also doing stuff where you're the official spokeswoman for Toyota cars, and you're traveling with Toyota, and that's taking you all over the country. And then you're doing acting in LA. And I mean, I remember following your career, and it just seemed like on social, I mean, you were in a new city every couple of days, just bouncing around the whole country.
Yeah.
How did you met, like, what was the longest you ever spent on the road traveling doing that?
So I worked for Toyota for 7 years, and between Toyota and some other jobs that I would do, I was gone from my house well over 150 days a year. I mean, yeah. I was constantly living out of a suitcase, which was cool in the beginning, but it gets tiring after a while, you know? But yeah, go-go dancing, modeling. I worked for Toyota. I totally had forgotten about the Monster thing until you reminded me.
You had a fitness show. You were hosting like infomercials for fitness.
Yes. Yep. I've done a lot of fitness work. The cool thing is I've been able to, I feel really lucky that I've been able to kind of morph myself into a lot of different arenas. You know, I've done glamour, I've done swimwear, I've done bridal, I've done
runway,
fashion, commercial stuff. Like you said, I've done a lot of fitness stuff. So, you know, it's been nice to be able to kind of span that, you know, I don't know, those different areas.
Do you find it's difficult? I mean, is it tough being able to transition between those genres? I mean, those are very, very different genres. You know, you work in a trade show, extremely exhausting. You're on point for 10 hours nonstop, just pouring that energy out. And then suddenly the next day, you have to go film a fitness commercial.
Yeah, absolutely. I think more so than switching gears like that, it was more difficult as far as like modeling to switch gears from being like, oh, we're gonna do a high fashion shoot and you need to look like really super freaking skinny, and then like 2 days later, I'm supposed to be ripped for like a beach body shoot. You know, that was really hard, and I did have jobs like that sometimes where I had to completely change my body, you know, quickly. So it's all about the angles. It's all about the angles.
Well, so that's the thing, is that we were speaking about body dysmorphia and health. You have always been a fitness and a health fanatic. So do you think you would have been able to accomplish a lot of that work and transition if you hadn't been so focused on being so healthy and always, you know, keeping up with your body and keep, you know, putting good stuff in your body? And would it have been possible?
I think that's a great question. I think, is it possible? Sure. I mean, is it possible to continue to run your car after, you know, on fumes? I guess maybe for a little bit, but it only lasts so long, you know? And I think that speaks to, you know, the longevity of my career, is because, you know, especially with all the travel and all the late nights and all the crazy hours and all the, you know, it's like, it's funny. I was just telling my friend the other day that he was like, man, like, you know all the stuff on fast food menus. And I was like, well, because
I wrote them.
No, it's because
I'm a fast food fit model.
No, it's because I used to travel. I traveled so much and I was on the road so much with all my auditions and all of my jobs that I had to learn the only healthy freaking thing on every fast food menu so that I could maintain some kind of a healthy diet. You know what I mean? Like, I would know all these like for a long time, forever. I don't think you guys even realize, but there was like a veggie burger on the Burger King menu, but it's not on the menu, but it's been there for like 10 years. But you just have to know, yes, Burger King has had a veggie burger for like 10 years. Because I was ordering them back in the day because I would ask them like, well, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? So you can try, you know, you can find out like little health options that they have that aren't always on the menu. So it's just funny. Like, I know all the little like tips and tricks, like what to eat on all the fast food menus that aren't like totally horrible for you.
Real quick, everybody, when I just said that she's into fitness, you can tell by this photo right here. She's got abs for days. Abs for days. Look at those quads.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I mean, you know, just pop up the contrast a little bit on that photo. That helps. That helps.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure that's for real right there.
No, it is. It is. It is for real. But I mean,
were you an athlete growing up?
Oh yes, I started competing at a national level. Well, I started competing in track and field when I was 6 years old, and then I was competing at a national level by the time I was 9. And
wow,
yeah. And then I did soccer, volleyball, track. I was a wrestler in high school, and I was on the boys wrestling team. I was the first female wrestler in the state of Arizona.
That sounds suspect.
I was.
No. I'm not.
From the guy's point of view.
Like, oh, she wants to wrestle around on the ground with me? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not to knock you. I'm just saying.
But yeah, let's just imagine that for a moment. It's like, all right, boys, all right,
who wants to wrestle Chelsea?
Yeah, it's like we're gonna have a girl on the wrestling team, dude. What?
No, but
no, man, girl on the team. Well, guys, this is her picture right here.
No.
Oh yeah.
I
that's-
I was
Yeah.
an ugly duckling in high school. I'm telling you, I was.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said like I wasn't ever really. I never had like modeling or acting on the forefront of my mind. Like I never thought of myself like that ever. I was like I was just like super tomboy. I mean, I did sports. I never thought of myself like that. Until I started doing it just like for fun. And then I was like, oh, hey, like I don't look half bad in these photos. This is kind of fun. This is cool. But I never thought of myself like that until I started doing it just for fun, yeah, and then I competed track and field in college. I was a full ride scholarship track athlete at University of Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Oh my God. So the whole track and field, you did everything. Like
I was a hurdler. I did 100 hurdles, 400 hurdles, and then I did the 4x4 relay.
pretty impressive. So tell us, let's just, we're going through these photos right here on your page and they're just stunning. Would this happen to be White Sands National Park?
Yes, that is the beautiful White Sands National Park here in Las Cruces. It's actually in Alamogordo, but New Mexico, southern New Mexico. It's so beautiful.
That's some incredible stuff.
What were you saying, Brian?
You're in Las Cruces right now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
This is very random. I'm a New Yorker. I live here, in Hollywood, like working on a writing directing career. Like Las Cruces is one of the places I've looked up. It's there or Vancouver where I'd want to like live.
Really? How random.
It is kind of random. Everyone's like, why Vancouver? Why Las Cruces? I'm like, dude, just look them up and figure it out.
Look at my face there.
See, we can go from one face to the next. Look at this right here. Get on those dumbbells. Get on those hurdles. And then just yoga, peaceful, meditative state.
Yes, that's right. How funny. That is so random, Ryan. Well, I grew up here in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
It's like one of the most unknown, like, if you ever see like something like top 20 places to live in America, but if that's like some spam ad, like, you'll get New York City, like Manhattan, like obviously places like that could be cool. But like on like the underground, like a absolutely unknown kind of, but amazing place that you could raise a family, have a great job. Very, just the way they describe the people and the surroundings, Las Cruces was very highly ranked. Very highly ranked.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, so I got a question for you. Nowadays, one of the hot topics is OnlyFans. And that seems to have just exploded overnight, like probably one of the biggest companies in the country right now with how fast that blew up. Now, you said that you were cool with implied, which is totally different than shooting nudes for everybody out there. It is way different. It's a whole different style of photography. But do you have people messaging you now constantly through your profiles? Like, hey, where's your OnlyFans? Do you have an OnlyFans? Like, what are people sending you in your DMs? What's in your DMs nowadays?
Okay, you're gonna crack up at this. Okay, first of all, I do have to say one thing. My kids, I thought we were gonna be done at 7:45, so they are gonna be ringing my doorbell any minute.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but this is hilarious. So I think you and I talked about this, John, a little bit. My TikTok following is pretty big. It's almost 100,000, but I made the biggest thing. This is insane that I've gotten requests for are feet pics. I'm not, not kidding you.
I believe you all. I believe it 100%. Oh, that's weird.
I'm not kidding you. I've gotten so many requests for feet pics. I'm like, why? Why feet pics? Why?
Wait, now, so you look like you're a taller gal, right? Like you don't strike. So I'm assuming what they're thinking is you got some nice, long, slender toes. I do not get feet things at all. Now, I got hobbit feet. I'm Irish. I got little stubby hobbits, but even on a chick, I've never looked at them in my life. But yeah, I could see you getting that all day. It's
I'm
so weird.
like, what is up with the freaking feet pics? Like, I
Dude.
don't know.
Creepo-rama.
No, I you know,
Creepo-rama.
never been. Okay, so side story. Shooting this girl one time here in San Diego. We're doing a shoot. We're driving to the location. I'm like, so where are you from? She's from Alaska. I think that's where she's from.
Oh, wow.
So automatically Alaska girls, wild. And I'm like, what are you doing out here? She's like, oh, I'm an escort. And I'm like, whoa, what's that? She's like, oh, guys hire me for all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, so you're prostituting? And she's like, no, I don't have sex with them. And I was like, well, what do you do? What do these guys? She's like, oh, it's all kinds of fetish stuff. And I'm like what? And she's like, well, I have this one client up in La Jolla, and what he wants me to do is like I go over his house, and then I wear a schoolgirl outfit, and then I go out in the road, and I'm barefoot, and I walk through the road in the gutter, and he stands up in the house and watches me, and then I go upstairs, and then he just wants to lick my feet clean and lick the dirt off my feet.
And schoolgirl outfit.
No!
And I was like, that's what you do to make money? She's like, oh, yeah. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, my God, like, what does this guy pay you for that? She's like, $1,400.
Dude, I will walk up and down the friggin'
That's
dirt.
good money. That's good money.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
the guy was obsessed with feet and cleaning feet, and that's what he was into. That was his kink.
Gosh.
So
What the heck?
that's so.
It must be. It's in social or not social. It's in like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They have an episode that's hilarious about it. There's a Family Guy. Meg has a whole episode to becoming a foot model, and Peter and Chris find her, and they're like, "Wait a minute, those feet look familiar." But yeah, it's in the lexicon. Like I don't get it. There's not to go the other way. Like I don't think they're making money off it, but apparently some women are into the feet thing. Oh yeah, you got some long slenders. Yeah, put those away, man. People are gonna be super chatting us with money. Like. Actually, maybe that's how we can make some money off this, John. Get Chelsea to super chat those feet going, dude.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, check the time for her, John.
Yeah, we're at 6:48 right now. Well, I was gonna say, I was like, hey, you could always sign up for Cash App, and you could just sell fit pictures. I mean,
people wouldn't know. I mean, people wouldn't know it was me.
Honestly, Chelsea.
I wonder if like a sock, like a sexy sock coming off to the dude is like sexy panties.
Oh, you have
down,
no
like,
idea. People, yes. So that's another thing I've been asked for, and I'm like, what is up with all the like foot stuff? I don't get it. But stockings. That's like another.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have the legs for the stockings. You have these long. Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
right.
you just not your face. I would say get a Cash App and just be like, yeah. I met a girl. Honestly, she sells foot pictures of herself, $50 a photo.
Shut up. See, and I hear this, and I'm like, dude, I should just do it.
She just has she has an Instagram. She has a Cash App. She links to her Cash App. Guys message her. They say, can we see you in like black heel shoes? And she's like, sure, it's $50 a picture. And literally, guys will spend like $200, $300 just for feet pictures.
Oh,
20 pics a month. 20 pics a month. Only 20 pics a month is $12,000 a year. A year. I mean, that's not even a pic a day.
I need to do it, guys. I need to do it.
Kind of do.
Hey,
percentage?
We can add this to your profile here. We can add actress, sports model, fitness, foot model.
Foot guru.
You can cover the next one will be hand. The hand you'll be getting the
Right.
So
Right. Oh,
well, guys, I'm gonna pull up Chelsea's page real quick again for you guys. Let's see here if I can figure out
it's so bad. I'm gonna turn on the lights in my room
and not be such a boomer here. And bright light.
Super bright light.
And guys, thanks so much to Chelsea. So this is her page. You can find her. It's Hunter_Chelsea on Instagram. You can follow her on her TikTok and see all of her videos that she does. And her goofy, fun singing and dancing videos. And that's Chelsea V. Hunter on TikTok. She has a YouTube. Please go and follow her, guys. Have you got anything you'd like to say as an outro, Chelsea? What would you like to say to everybody out there?
Just thank you so much for having me, and it was fun. It was fun visiting with you guys. It was fun chatting with you guys, and you know, if you guys have any comments or any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm an open book.
Guys, reach out to her.
If you ever have time, maybe come back in a month or two if you're interested.
Back to San Diego, or you mean back to the show?
Yeah, back to the show. It's a big bonus for us. Thank you. Like,
Well,
seriously, thank you for doing it.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on as a guest host maybe sometime, and you could help us interview some other girls.
I would love that. That would be fun.
That would be really cool. Well, guys, that's the end of this show. We really appreciate it. That's episode 5 of Retouch This. Please, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share it with some friends. Sharing is caring. And then if you guys can help out, if you want to sign up monthly, you can go to Bikini Girl Magazine, $6.99 a month. Go check that out at bikinigirlmagazine.com. And I am going to run the outro right now and our credits. And I will check you guys next week. Thanks, Bri, for coming. Thanks, Mikey Beats. See you later.
Bye.
Did you know that for the price of a 6-pack of beer, that you can get Bikini Girl Magazine each month? That's right. You get the digital magazine downloadable to your phone or your desktop, as well as all the smoking hot, uncensored content from the shoots that I can't show on social media. Go to bikinigirlmagazine.com and sign up as a monthly patron. Or you can purchase individual issues via MagForest platform. Your support helps me continue to do all of these sexy shoots for you. The social media censors absolutely hate all of this content of beautiful women, so help spread the word to all your friends. Please make sure to like, comment, or share this video with some friends and click that subscribe button. Also, go follow Bikini Girl Magazine on our second YouTube channel and across social media to keep up with the latest hot babes.